my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 149 of The Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is, when life gives lemons, make cheesecake cake? Before we get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring that bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think they would help. With that being said, here's our list of things to do today. We're going to go over some daily compliments for the last couple weeks. We're going to talk about life, am I right? And we're going to make lemon cheesecake cake. I know, it sounds delicious. We have made a cheesecake cake before, but it wasn't quite like this. This is actually like a layered cake with a cheesecake layer in the middle. I know, oh my gosh. All right, so we're going to do real quick the few weeks of daily compliments, starting with the 4th. I really admire your discipline, even when things are hard. The 5th, you are so grounded. That sounds so wrong. The 6th, you are a gift to those around you. The 7th, you are a smart cookie. The 8th, I love your style. The 9th, you have the best laugh. The 10th, you are enough. The 11th, my daughter's 23rd birthday. Happy birthday, Peyton. I am grateful to know you. The 12th, you light up the room. The 13th, you deserve a hug right now. The 14th, you are more helpful than you realize. 15th, you are really courageous. On a scale from 1 to 10, you are an 11. For the 17th, you're even more beautiful on the inside than on the outside. The 18th, you have the courage of your convictions. You are a ray of sunshine on a dreary day. That was the 19th. You are making a difference. The 20th. The 21st, you are a great listener. The 22nd, thank you for being there for me. The 23rd, you are way cool. 24th, hanging out with you is always comforting. 25th, you help me feel more joy in my life. 26th, you always say exactly what I need to hear. The 27th, I admire you're not afraid to be yourself. And the 28th, you are wonderful. I realize this is for the 31st, but I'm filming on a Monday. So that's what you get. I'm sure you're okay with that. Okay, the recipe calls for the cheesecake part is 2 8-ounce cream cheeses, 1 cup sugar, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 3 eggs, room temp, 3 tablespoons of flour, 3/4 cup of sour cream, and 1 teaspoon of lemon extract, which we are using lemon juice across the board. Whether it says extract or juice, those are going to both be the same thing. I looked it up. The only difference is the extract is a little bit more intense, and I'm not really looking for a super intense lemon flavor. I like subtle. So we're going to smooth our cream cheese first, and I figured out a way to do my mixer over here, minus the cup holder. I need the spoon holder, actually, to set my spatula on. So here we're going to do is we're going to smooth our cream cheese. Now, keep in mind that every time I make some sort of cheesecake, and apparently that seems to be the favorite in our family, I always use light cream cheese. There is no flavor difference. If you can tell the difference, more power to you. Use the full fat one. But I like to cut calories where I can and make things at least a little bit healthier. Okay, so that's pretty smooth as I dip my cord into my... Okay, so this is what she looks like, okay? And then we're supposed to, I wrote so small so I could fit everything in there. Add the sugar, salt, flour, lemon, and sour cream, and beat till smooth. Okay, so this is our flour and salt. I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to do the sugar first, and then I'm going to explain my pan situation, and what she wanted us to use and what we're actually going to use are two completely different things. So I'm going to do the sugar first, just to get it blended into the cream cheese really nicely. And that, again, was a reminder of 1 cup of sugar. All right, so the cake is supposed to be round, but ours is going to be square. All right, I'm going to do the flour next and the salt. So I'm going to blend that up. Actually, we're supposed to add this all together, but I don't know. I feel like things get mixed better when they're kind of added separately. So that is what I'm doing. This is going to be a nice thick cheesecake. All right, let me just scrape the sides real quick. So while I'm doing that, I can explain my pan situation. So I do not have 2 round 9-inch pans. One day I will, but for now I only have one. And so what I decided to do was to make our cake square. So what I am doing, because I don't have two square pans either, I'm taking a 9x13 and making the cake in there, and we're going to split that in half. And then for the cheesecake, I'm making it in a 9-inch square regular pan. I know, call me crazy. All right, because it called for a springform pan, a 9-inch springform pan, but we're making our cake square. So this is what we're doing, okay? We're preheated at 300, and we needed a water bath on the shelf below because our cheesecake is not going to have a crust. So that is the other reason I wanted to use a regular pan, because she had us lining our round springform pan with parchment paper. But what I'm thinking is we probably should line it with either aluminum. I think we should still line it with parchment paper, and I'll do that in a minute. Let me just get going on this other part. Let me get it mixed first. I just realized it probably makes more sense to have some sort of parchment under there. Okay. Then next is the sour cream. Why did I think the sour cream went in the cake? Silly me. This is going to be some rich cheesecake. And yes, that's just regular sour cream. That is what I bought. But you could definitely use like sugar-free, wow, light. Where did I get sugar-free sour cream from? Can you tell it's been a hectic morning? Hence the title of this show, Life, am I right? And I'll get to that little topic in a minute here. Let's just get us all blended up here first. It's definitely going to be nice and thick. I'm actually thinking about switching my lining. I think I'm going to do aluminum foil and spray that. Okay. And then none of this called for vanilla extract, and I know it seems counterproductive when we're trying to make a lemon one, but I don't know. I feel like it could use a little. So that is our lemon, and that's just a smidge of vanilla. Hopefully it doesn't smell or taste weird. I think it'll give us a nice balance. Okay, so once we have that all together, then we add our eggs one at a time. Okay. So let me get this scraped off of there. Don't want to miss any good bits. All right. So then, let's see how it tastes so far. Super light on the lemon, but that's okay because the cake itself has, oh good, it's right on top. Has a lot of lemon in it. Okay. It's got zest, lemon, and extract. So if you're doing the extract, the cake is really where the lemony part's going to come in, I feel like. I also talked with Peyton about maybe possibly decorating with a little bit of strawberries on the top, so we have like a strawberry lemonade type situation going on. So we'll see how that plays out. This is a long process. This cheesecake itself requires cooking for 45 minutes, cooling for a half an hour, and then putting in the fridge. So we're going to be here a while. Obviously, I won't be filming the entire time. Okay, egg number 2. And again, these eggs are room temperature. it does have a very nice creamy consistency, obviously from the sour cream. And the cake itself has buttermilk in it, so we're really going to have a sour, tart kind of profile going on. All right, that's egg number 3. And we're going to get that all combined, and then that's what we're pouring into. I am going to put you on hold for a quick second here so that I can prepare my pan. I just need to be able to lift it out, is what I'm thinking I need to be worried about, since it does not have a crust. All right, so give me a few minutes here and I'll be back to show you what it looks like once it's in the pan. All right, guys, so this is what it looks like, all ready to go. And then let me just give this a quick, make sure there's nothing sticking to the bottom. Now, I did spray my aluminum foil because I got paranoid that it would just stick. But then I'm also thinking, what if it sticks? Who cares? It's going to be in the middle of the cake. Nobody's going to know. So we'll just go with it. Keep our fingers crossed. Right? Right, Magnus? Magnus would love to try some too, I'm sure. I don't think dogs are supposed to have lemon, though. Okay. Perfect. All right, so we need to, whoop, we're dripping everywhere. So we need to get this in there. Let me get this out of the way real quick. Okay, so we'll wiggle it. Okay, so this goes in for 45 minutes at 300, and don't forget your water bath on the bottom, because we have no crust, right? And let me get this off of there, because that's a good amount of cheesecake. That was a whole mouthful. So yummy. All right. We'll put her in there. And again, our pan is down below. Oh, gosh, I hate that noise. Okay, timer, 45 minutes. Okay, and then while we're doing that, we're going to make our cake. Let me get this, let me pause you again. All right, now we're going to do the cake part. So that is 1½ sticks butter softened, 2 cups of sugar, 3 eggs, 3 cups of cake flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, ½ teaspoon salt, 1¼ cups buttermilk, 1/4 cup of lemon juice, 1/4 cup of veg oil, and a tablespoon of lemon extract. We're doing lemon juice. And then the zest of 2 lemons. Okay. So the first thing we're supposed to do once we're done cooking this is we're supposed to preheat to 350 and grease and flour our 2 9-inch round cake pans. We're not doing that. Remember, we're doing the 9 by 13 that we're going to grease and flour, and then we're going to cut those in half to make our 2 layers. So in this container here, we have our buttermilk, our vegetable oil, and our lemon extract and lemon juice. And then here in the dry, we have the flour, the baking powder, baking soda, and salt. And then what we're going to do in here is we're going to cream the butter, and hopefully it's softened enough. We're going to cream our butter. And we'll go from there. So, wanted to talk about life a little bit. It's been a little crazy lately. Little up, little down, a lot of down, feels like. Just, having a rough time. Life's not always perfect, and I don't ever want to plan it to be. Or want it to seem like I plan that it's only, sunshine and roses. Okay, so in this bowl, we're going to cream together the butter, the sugar, and then one at a time we're going to add the eggs. So that was our 2 cups of sugar, which seems like so much sugar. Again, I do use the unprocessed, you know, the cane sugar. Wow, that butter was harder than I thought. It's been sitting out a while, you guys, so I'm not really sure why it's acting like so hard. Oh my goodness. Sorry. This is not really creaming too much because the butter's so hard. It's so loud, sorry. Not on camera either. Top it all off. All right. Honestly, I think the only thing that's going to help us cream our that butter is not that hard. I don't understand. I took all those butters out at the same time. All right. I think, see, it's just like pilled. Looks like we're making, what is that? Pie crust. All right, so yeah, it's gonna cream together nicely. It just, I think it needs the eggs to blend it up since our butter wasn't as softened as I thought. So we're gonna do the eggs, maybe. All right, one at a time here. Get in there. Don't want to lose any of the valuable butter. These are ingredients that are so expensive in the last few years that you hate to. Now you can always substitute butter. You could always put in like applesauce, or there's so many things to substitute for fats. And eggs. Greek yogurt is another one. So you always have a way to go healthy. I just like to make it for the first time because I'm making it for you for the very first time. As close to the recipe as possible without like fattening it up, you know? Okay. I don't know why I cannot learn my lesson to do it on the counter. There we go. We're starting to soften up. This is what we needed. A little liquefaction. See, the other thing you have an issue with when you're using that cane sugar is it's a little bit bigger grain than like regular processed sugar. So it does take a little bit more to get it to blend better. I don't know how many people use the cane sugar. I like it. It's got good texture. And it almost kind of gives you a brown sugar vibe, even when you're not using brown sugar. That's just my love. That's just why I like it. I do pay extra for it, but I think it's worth it. Okay, let's get all this stuff off the sides here. All right, perfect. We got a nice creamy consistency going on now. See? She's super creamy. Can you see? Okay. So the next thing we want to do, now that we got that all mixed together, sort of, or at least on our way. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is alternate our wet with our dry. Does not say how we want to do it. So I think I'm just going to add a little bit of dry, and we'll alternate back and forth. I realize I did the dry because it was already pretty wet consistency, so I decided to start with the dry just to see what kind of texture we're dealing with. Now remember, the zest of the lemon is mixed in with our, I forgot to tell you that. So in this bowl, besides the baking powder and the flour and the salt, there is zest. And I remembered because I just got a big whiff of it. And then in this container here, we got our, you know what? I probably should whisk this just a smidge, or at least stir it a little bit. Is we have our regular lemon juice. Again, you would have extract and lemon juice. Okay, so I'm going to dump a good mess. I do wish I would have grabbed something to put this on because it's just going to make a big mess on the counter. And I don't really know why it makes sense to mix the buttermilk with the lemon juice when it's just going to curdle more. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why we alternate. Now, obviously, if you don't like lemon, you could definitely use other citrus flavors, but you could also do, you know, whatever flavor you like. Strawberry, you could do cookie butter. And then you could do a chocolate cake. There's so many different options you could play with on this that I find intriguing about the method. Yes, this is just like coagulated, so I'm not really sure. I did make my own buttermilk with lemon juice and milk. But you could also use vinegar, so maybe I should use vinegar. I don't know. I think it'll straighten itself out with all the dry. Kind of like life, huh? It'll straighten itself out. You know, I always hear this factoid that, you know, you make it through 100% of your bad days. Sometimes it's hard to think that, you know? But we can all get through it together. Nobody said it would be easy. But it'd be nice to have a break every once in a while. All right. I mean, it is starting to blend a little better. Okay. I think that was what we were on. I think we had just done the dry. I don't think I like the sound my mixer is making. All right, I think I do not like there's a little whistle going on. It's making me nervous. I use this one as a backup because my big one, it's really like so big. I am planning to buy a smaller bowl, which I think is going to help a lot. But I asked for one for Christmas and it didn't work out. So, and then I thought my Cuisinart bowl, my KitchenAid bowl was going to fit. And it does technically lock in place, but it's too narrow for the paddle and the whisk that comes with my mixer. Wow. Brain freeze. So, I said, you know, life has been kind of lemony lately. Let's make something lemony. And then my oldest said, cheesecake. So I said, you know what? I've done cheesecake. I've done it a lot of different ways, but I haven't done it this way. So, and they love, everybody in my family, I think, loves lemon desserts but me. So I'm going to try it. Don't get me wrong. And I think that's why I made the lemon less pronounced. That, and I wasn't about to buy, wow, I got stuff all over me, lemon extract when I don't really use lemon flavor all that much. And I looked it up and it said you can use lemon juice to replace it, but keep in mind it's not as I really don't like the way this sounds. Concentrated. All right. Now we're finishing up with, it's going, I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. It's probably annoying for y'all too. Okay. So I'm gonna try and hurry up and mix it real quick. My sink is filled with plastic containers. She's just not happy today. I left my scraper over there. I love it when it all finally comes together because it always looks so, I don't know, when I get these weird techniques I'm supposed to use or something I at least haven't used before, I like to watch how it finally all comes together. Sorry if I'm repeating what the mixer is already saying. Okay, let's get this all wiped down. And then I just got to make sure that the bottom has been completely mixed. Perfect. All right, let me get this off of there, and then I'm going to do one more quick blend, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. So they don't keep dripping everywhere. Okay. So now that we're done with that, let me show you what she looks like. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Can you see? Let me show it on the big cam. There we go. All right, let me taste it. Perfect. Nice, subtle, lemony flavor without being, oh, I just moved my camera. Without being, there we go. Okay. So then the last thing we have to do is get this all sprayed and floured and poured in the pan. So give me a few minutes and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Got her all floured up, as you can see. And then here goes. It's days like this, I wish I had another oven. But, you know, this will be a good time to take a break too. I'm not sure how I feel about this backup, but we're going to take a break for a little bit so I can catch up on the dishes, you know, because life, just as I explained. All right, so she's all in here. Spread it around. All right, come on, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. Perfect. Get that all in there. Every last good little drop. Okay. All right, so there she is. Yummy, yummy. All right. Again, like I said, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to get it all cleaned up. And then when we're close to the time to put the cake in, I will come back and we'll make frosting while the cake is baking. Sound like a plan? Yay! Be back in a bit. So I'm taking the cheesecake out. It's been cooling for the half an hour. It's a nice, smells really good. So I'm gonna show you on the little camera and then on the big camera. So now it's gonna go, it's cooled in the oven with the door open, remember, for about a half an hour, maybe a little bit longer. It's nice and stiff. And then I'm putting mine directly in the fridge. I'm not sure that's exactly what they meant by cool and then chill, but that is what is happening if I can get her to fit. I'm a little nervous. I'm hoping that corner. Okay, so next we take we're gonna preheat to 350 for the cake. We're taking our little water bath out now. I'm not sure it's actually hot, but I don't think I want to find out. Okay. Put that down there, and now our beautiful cake goes in for 20 to 24 minutes. Okay? Now I do realize I think my square pan is actually, what am I doing? I just started preheating. I do think my square pan is actually a 10-inch pan. So we're gonna have to adjust accordingly. It says if your cheesecake section is a little bit bigger than your cake section, to just trim it with a warm knife, but we'll see. I might just eat it with a spoon. Take that. Okay, so now while we're waiting for our cake to bake, once it gets up to 350 degrees. Wow, this one has got me discombobulated bad because there's so many different layers. You know, we're dealing with 2 different cooking times, 2 different cooking temperatures. It's got to go in the free. Anyway, bringing it all in. This is us balancing out life, right? First it's chaotic, and then it's problematic, and then it's erratic, and then it's joyous, and then it's... Okay, so we're going to take a deep breath, and we're going to make our frosting here. I got my cord wrapped up. There we go. I just don't want to knock everything down in the process like I'm doing right now. Okay. So in our bowl, we have our 2 sticks of butter. I know my girl gave me my glasses. Okay. We have our 2 sticks of butter. Voila. Voila. Okay. And it says to wipe off your glasses because you can't see anything. Beat butter until smooth, then add cream cheese and lemon juice. Calls for extract there. Okay. So let's cream our butter. And again, this butter has been sitting out a while, and it's just not happy. Not sure our mixer is happy either. It's one of those days, guys, one of those days. Okay. All right. We're pretty choppy, but I don't know what else you can do. Okay, then comes our cream cheese, and we have 2 bricks of cream cheese. So those 2 sticks of butter, 2... Oh, no, don't leave that big chunk in there. Hello? Okay, there's 1. Let me tell you, they think they're making these wrappers easy to open, but they don't rip right where they, you know, designate it to rip. They're hard to open if you have any trouble grasping things, with which my fibro helps cause that to be a problem. Okay, get in there. Down. There we go. You know, sometimes you gotta talk to your food. That's all I'm saying. Get all this off, or the mixer's gonna like blow right out of my hand. All right, oven. Get us up to 350, girl. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We don't have time for this. All right, well, while I'm talking to you, we're going to talk about life some more, but I want to mention, make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok at The Best Blessed Life. On Twitter, sorry, I have to think of all of them. On Twitter at The Best Blessed Life with the I in life replaced with a 1. And on Facebook at Kristen Haas, KristinHass. 1A, 2 S's. I would just eat this right now. I think I was supposed to put in the lemon juice also. Yes. Lemon and zest. I'm doing a little zest. I didn't think I was going to, but I did save myself a pinch. So we'll do that. That little bit. That shouldn't be an issue, right? Again, I think I'm going to do some decorating with it, with some strawberries, just to freshen it up a little bit and give it a little not so sour fruit, hopefully. Hopefully our strawberries aren't. We have strawberries and raspberries. We could do a little bit of both on the top. So if you're following me on any of those or all of those social medias, I do post the final results, because I don't, with all of this steps and stuff, I'm pretty sure we're not going to get like a final result kind of thing done today. So, oh my gosh, that's so lemony. Right now it's just cream cheese and butter. Yum. Okay, so now we're going to start adding our powdered sugar nice and slow. So, back to life. How's life going for y'all? Hope everybody's enjoying their such a hot, muggy summer. I think that's the other reason I'm having a really hard time, is that it's just like you're just going outside to get back inside. Because it's so freaking muggy. I don't even understand it. I don't understand. There she blows. Okay. I don't even understand why it's so freaking hot. Okay. We're going to start out with the 20 minutes. We'll see how it goes. Because I have a single thing where these times are for 2 9-inch pans. So we might have to, work accordingly. And while we're getting sun, a lot of it is rain. A lot of it is oppressive. Yeah, she is struggling today. I hope this is not a bad sign. I got this from cousin Jocelyn. It's such a kind gesture. Now that I got this big mixer for other things, I use this quite a bit. That and the immersion blender she gave me. I like that one too. I don't really use it on the show too much though. Let's see how we're tasting. I'm just trying to figure out if we have enough lemon in there, because there's going to be a lot more powdered sugar that goes in here, and I'm a little concerned it's not as lemony as it's supposed to be. So, and that's saying something coming from me. So, I think at some point we'll realize we don't have enough liquid. Maybe. The texture is beautiful. It's whipping up really nice. So we got that going for us. But let's talk about what might be troubling you all. Like what's going on in your life that might be not so joyful and cheerful all the time. What can we do to help each other out? How do we resolve things that are out of our control? You know? How do we make each other's lives better so that we don't have to do it by ourselves? Because somewhere along the way, somebody said, you're an adult now. You should be able to handle this yourself. And I'm like, who said that? And I don't think that's true at all. Why do you have to do it by yourself? I mean, yes, you got to pay your own bills. I'm not saying like that. But I'm saying if you're having a hard time, and even then, if you have a friend that can help you with your bills, hey, I'm not saying go around just asking friends for money. Don't do that. Kristen did not say that. She did not say that. I'm trying to see as we go along if I notice that the lemon flavor is starting to brighten as we add the sugar in. And I'm noticing, I'm noticing it might actually be disappearing. So we might be having to add a little bit more lemon. Just wanted to let you know where we were at on that topic. But I think we all have friends and we have family because we're related to people. But we also have friends and colleagues and coworkers and peers and things that are just as happy and willing to go through things with you because sometime, they're going to need the return of the favor, the paying it forward kind of deal. So why not? I guess I don't get that part about adulting. Because adulting sucks. Come on, guys. Majority of us find at some point in our lives deciding what's for dinner gets frustrating and having to go here or there because you need to go to the dentist or the doctor. Well, not that kids don't, but you're still ultimately the one in charge of getting them there. So there's driving and there's so many adulting things that come on. Can we make this easier for ourselves? Why not make it fun? Why not bring a friend? If a friend is willing to go to the doctor with you because you're scared, I'd be all over that. I literally hate the dentist. And I actually love our dentist. So it's not even that. It's that between my fibromyalgia and it causing jaw pain and issues and not being able to keep my jaw open long enough to do anything, there's usually issues with my teeth. And I'm sure you need a root canal or, filling or... Although I haven't really needed too many fillings. I keep trying to take care. Did any of y'all hear that you shouldn't brush your teeth directly after you drink or eat something acidic? I never knew this. I keep, trying to be up on things and toothpastes and different ways to protect your teeth and that kind of stuff. Because I drink a lot of coffee. I do supplement with water, but I want to make sure I'm not doing something irreparable. So far, I'm not doing horrible, but I'm not doing great either. I know I need mouth work. I know I need jaw work, but it's too scary. Who wants to do that kind of stuff by themselves? So, I don't know. I don't think adulting has to be done alone. Even if you don't have a significant other. Or they're just as afraid of the dentist as you are. Who knows? What's the issue? I've just never had good luck at the dentist. Nobody's ever said, hey, your teeth look great. I don't need to see you ever again. No, I'm just kidding. As I just got frosting everywhere. All right, let's see. It's kind of coming back. But I also feel like I might just, after I put this bit of sugar in, I'm getting sugar. I cleaned up the whole entire counter. And guess what? I'm getting it all over again. And this poor mixer's like, why do I have to do all this hard work when you got that nice big mixer? I do have that nice big mixer, and now that I have this nice big plug over here, I can actually plug it in over here instead of doing all my mixing over there. And I just realized it. We have had this big brick of an outlet for a little bit now. And I just kept not plugging stuff in there because I only had 2 outlets. But, okay, let's see. Let's see where we're at. Okay. It's definitely more pronounced. I think the sugar definitely does help with the enhancement of that. I'm trying to think, did we ever put salt in frosting? Would that make a difference, you know? I don't remember adding it to buttercream too often. This is actually cream cheese frosting, but yeah, I think I'm just going to add a little dab. I just have that bottled lemon juice. I think I'll just do that. Oh, the nice thing is I just looked at our cheesecake in there, and I noticed that it is pulling away from the... I really don't want to put a lot. Pulling away from the sides of the... pan. So it's, I don't think it's going to be an issue that it was cooked in a... And pulling away from the aluminum foil as well. Yay! All right, so let's blend up this little bit of lemon. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. I wonder if there's ever a recipe where you add like a carbonated beverage. Because I'm thinking like if we could use, I know there's like usually about 3 tablespoons of liquid in a like a frosting like this. I wonder if you could use something like a lemon seltzer, if that would do anything for fluffing it up and stuff. I don't know. I just drink a lot of the LaCroix Limoncello. It's so good. It's like it reminds me of like a lemon cream soda. And I was just thinking that would be so good with this, but I don't know if you can do bubbles in a frosting. Like, what would it do? I don't know. I'll have to do some research and get back to you. All right, so while that's finishing up and while this is cooking, and we're going to have to let everything cool, I'm going to put you on pause again, but I'll be back. This frosting looks amazing. I'm back. So I wanted to show you the finished product on the frosting. Yummy, yummy. Look at how smooth that is. Isn't that beautiful? It's so heavy. The handle is actually bending on the Tupperware bowl. Okay, and now it's time to I'm going to take the cake out for a split second and show you because I want to put it back in and let it cool. Because we're going to do the second part of this tomorrow. Because it's like so late now. Okay, I'm just going to show you how the cake turned out and let you know that I can't do math because if I cut this in half, it's only going to be 6 1/2. So we're going to have to shave down the cheesecake. But there it is. Isn't she beautiful? It smells so lemony, but I want to put it back. I wanted to get that heat until the oven's pretty much not hot anymore. Okay? So that's where we're going to pause, and we will finish her up later. Welcome back to the Best Blessed Life After Dark. That's right, it's almost 10 p.m. and I'm finally able to finish this up. So all I'm going to do is show you how to assemble it. I cut the pieces into equal parts, and then I had to cut the, excuse me, I had to cut the cheesecake to fit too, because my cheesecake was like 1 inch too thick. So what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to take the frosting, which I'm hoping will be decently soft, and spread it on the first layer of cake. Okay, and I got my little offset, and I'm just going to spread it a little. I don't want to pull too much because with the cake sitting in the fridge for a whole day, this center got a little wet. So I'm trying not to pull too hard on the actual cake itself. So, plus the cake is sorry, I don't know why I'm trying to hold both things at the same. Extremely lemony, like, whew. So I'm hoping between the frosting and the cheesecake layer that we will get the sweetness that we're looking for. Because once we do each layer in between the cake and the cheesecake itself, then we do the whole thing. So it's going to be extremely covered. Now, I think we're just supposed to do in between for now and then do the sides when we do the whole thing. Okay. All right, the next is our cheesecake layer, which I have to say it's a good thickness. So I'm gonna, oh gosh. All right. This is well, that didn't come out quite the way I was hoping, but it's salvageable. It is, sort of. Crap. Well, never a dull moment here on the Best Blessed Life. I'm just going to mush it in there because I'll tell you what, this cheesecake layer, pretty delicious. Oh my God. Sorry, give me a second here. I saw that going a whole lot better than it did. But I'll tell you what, hopefully, once we assemble it all together, you won't be able to tell. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then it's more frosting. And frankly, this is going to be nearly impossible. So we'll just hope for the best. They always have you make more frosting than you'll ever need in your lifetime, let alone for one cake. So I hate that we're putting so much on here. I know some people are lovers of frosting, but I am not the hugest fan. I don't like very, I don't like it to be overly sweet or thick. Texturally speaking, I'm not happy when it's super thick. I like height-wise, I'm talking. This itself is going to look like it's super thick. And frankly, it's probably going to be the ugliest cake you've ever seen in your life. You can make yours according to the actual directions. But I went with the pans that I had, so yeah. It's going to need to be flipped and smushed at the same time, so this ought to be fun. The cake itself is pretty dense, so that's just going to go like that. Right? How's that look? Looks great, doesn't it? We'll just cut off any excess over here. So decorating. And then also, okay, so, and then also like here, I'll just take off that little bit, just so the sides are more even. Let me get this out of our way. So yeah, life happens, and we had computer issues. Excuse me. So we were supposed to film it yesterday. It didn't work out real well. So we had to kind of finagle a plan here, and it seems to have worked out pretty well. I know we talked a lot about life yesterday, but let me tell you, it keeps biting me in the ass. Every video, something inevitably happens, and then I'm left to film at 10 p.m. on the night before it goes out. All right, let's see. I'm gonna get rid of this because this is so annoying. Okay, this thing is huge. It's so tall. All right, so let's kind of get, the frosting is pretty texturally sound. I like that it is a cream cheese lemon frosting instead of just like a buttercream. Takes the edge off it being too sweet, even though it's a tart cake. So I don't know. I think lemon plays a good role in the cake part. I don't taste a lot of it in the cheesecake part, but I'm almost fine with that. Sorry, I'm off camera. I'm almost fine with that because of the overpowering of it on the cake. My puppy's like, I want to go to bed, Mom. I get it, pup. Oh, it's going to just fall down the sides. So I'm going to just have to go one of these guys. This is kind of the open edge too, so is it going to look beautiful? Probably not. Probably not. And again, I didn't claim to be any kind of professional baker, but I'm giving it my best shot, and we're going with the flow, and you know, all that good fun stuff. Oh, goodness. Hopefully Peyton can edit it so it's just, you don't have to watch this whole thing. Now I'm going to let it chill overnight before we try it. I want the frosting to kind of set up so it's not falling apart the minute we try and cut into it. You know, I want it to get cold altogether because the frosting itself right now is not, it's super soft, which I kind of wanted because it was going to make it a lot easier. So make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok at The Best Blessed Life, on Twitter at The Best Blessed Life, Life's, the I in life replaced with a 1, and then also on Facebook at Kristen Haas, Kristin Hass. I hope you can hear this video, this last little bit. It's really just to show it all assembled. I didn't want you to think I was leaving you hanging. Is it like, I'm just trying to get the last little bits covered, like down here. Okay, and I think there's a little part over here. Oh, I'm making such a mess. Oh, this whole corner needs a little somp. There we go. There we go. All right, perfect. There's a big hole right there. Okay, I gotta get this in the fridge, guys. It's warm in here, and it's all starting to blow out the side. Ta-da! All right, let me hold it up. Holy sugar plums. there it is in all her glory. There it is on the little camera. Is it beautiful? Absolutely. Okay, thanks guys. I appreciate y'all so much. I thank you so much for the support. And as always,